Okay, hello guys. So let me just deal with this issue once and for all. Is there a patriarchy? For those that don't understand, let me just explain briefly. This concept that from the beginning of the world, 10,000 years that we've been living, that men have conspired together to oppress women to prevent them from having equal access to opportunities and resources and everything. So when I looked at this concept and everything, it's actually stupid on different levels and everything. So that's why I want to take time to really talk about it and debunk it. Do you understand? First of all, from the beginning of time, because I'm actually doing research on the history of human societies and civilizations currently. Because of a project I'm working on, I discovered that, look, right from the beginning, a select few, less than 10%, as a matter of fact, the most progressive societies, 10% of the society, have been the ones that have had access to the resources, and political power in the whole. That's from the beginning, right from the beginning, up until late 19th century, as in 1895, 1890 stuff and everything. As a matter of fact, it was only in the 19th century that the concept of everybody becoming participants in a society, in the political processes, and even in the resources of the society became a thing. Do you understand? It was only in the 19th century that became a thing. From the beginning, a group of people, just a select few of people, the king, either the king, the royalty, or the nobility and everything, just a group of people have been the ones controlling everything, while the rest of us live. The purpose of our life is just to live, to serve those select few. Right from the beginning, both men and women. So at the people that, the overlords, the people that control the resources, they were men and women there. The people that were being controlled, and they were men and women. So there wasn't any time where everybody that was controlling the resources were men. You understand? Do you get it? It was not until after the Enlightenment age, not even in the early modern period, in the late modern period, that we started tinkering with the idea that resources are meant to be shared by everybody, both men and women in the society. That we started talking, that we started funding with the idea, that we started funding with the idea that political power should be shared abroad. Plurality is called plurality, where everybody has equal access to the political process, where we can actually vote, basically, or be voted for. Do you understand? It was not until the 19th century that became a thing. Do you get it? And even that, it took us close to 100 years for us to actually implement it. So it was not until the 20th century, the 1990s, and even towards the middle of the 20th century, that we have universal suffrage for all men. So there was no time in the history of the world where men had exclusive rights to control the resources. Let me give you an instance. In America, universal suffrage, when America even started, it wasn't everybody didn't have a right to vote. You only voted if you had, and they were the most pluralistic society in the world. Then it was like a revolutionary society. Mind you, every black person, almost every black person in America didn't have the right to vote. In the South, of course, they were all slaves and everything. You get it? There were a lot of, I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say. It was not until after Martin Luther King that the right to vote became open to everybody. Do you understand? So there was no time in the history of America that only men had the right to vote and women didn't have the right to vote. What about owning resources? The same thing. You understand? In England, the people that actually invented this whole concept of nation state, where everybody is supposed to be included and everything, it was not until before the First World War, in 1914 or so, that everybody had the right to vote, men and women. You understand? So there was no time in the history of the world where men had exclusive rights to resources and to political power. There was no time. You understand? Yeah, shortly after we got universal access, both to economic resources and political resources. Shortly, just for a brief period and everything, just like 10 years or something like that, brief period and everything, the men wanted to dominate, take control of this newfound freedom and everything. Shortly after that, we had the feminist movement. You understand? To counter that. And then they just relaxed. That whole stuff was just like a phase, a passing phase. So are you trying to tell me that the whole of this whole feminism thing that they are creating, this patriarchy in the head or drumming it on the head of everybody? So are you trying to tell me that in the 10,000 years that we've become Homo sapiens, that this modern thinking man evolved and everything? Are you trying to tell me that it is just that 10 or 5 years that you are creating this whole? Look, please, let's not divide ourselves based on this nonsense. It doesn't make sense. It was stupid when it was conceptualized, and it is still stupid. And it doesn't matter how many times you talk about it, you drum it into the ears of people, it will remain stupid because it doesn't exist. And it's a stupid idea. Look at Africa, for example. Are you trying to say that what time did African men start oppressing the women? When we were slaves? Well, how did they? Okay, so they took more of the work or what? When you were... Let's not allow ourselves to be deceived by these people. You understand? They are just a loud, tiny minority of people that are just loud and everything. Anytime you hear them talking about this nonsense and everything, let us shout louder because you have the truth. And they are just peddling nonsense. There's not like patriarchy. It doesn't exist. It's a myth. You understand? Thank you very much.